won the 2017 Division III Women's Lacrosse Championship second semifinal. We have with us Caroline Jager, Katie Landry, Shannon Keeler, and head coach Carol Cantelli. Coach, we open with comments from you about today's game, please.
It was a battle, and we enjoyed every minute of it. And we've been wanting to stay in the now, and that was a game of people having to stay completely in the now and focused on every single possession. It was a fantastic battle against two very, very high caliber, well-oiled machines. It was a great day.
Ralph, go ahead.
Sure. Coach, how would you describe Shannon Keeler's first half?
You did all right there, kid. I think, you know, she was locked and loaded, and she's been very focused on trying to remain focused for all 60 minutes and stay in the now and just see that yellow ball, as she says, focus on that yellow ball and make it hers to own. And she did just that. Very poised, stayed at home, took away some decent shots. I think our defense gave her the kind of shots that she thrives on. The defense really forced some shots that she enjoys making the saves, but she had a lot of wonderful individual moments herself as well.
Shannon, have people typically shot so low, so often low on you, either this year or in your career, or was that unusual today?
I mean, I think because teams see that I'm tall, they just assume that I'm bad low, and I kind of know that. So I've generally, before this year, it really hasn't been a strength, saving the ball low, but I really have worked hard to not only, you know, increase my save percentage low, but, you know, just increase my awareness of the game and the ball in general. I don't even really think about that. I just try to stay in the moment and not think at all. I will say, though, I studied the players a lot. And I studied the way Kylie Coffey shoots, and I mean, that helps for sure.
Caroline, you helped get your team off to a great start. How important was that for you, and what were you seeing from the defense early on that helped you get some good looks?
Yeah, for me, I was just fired up to get into the game, so I got myself focused before we went into it, and just seeing how hard our defense was playing and winning the ball back for us on the other end really gets our attack pumped up to do the same for them and, you know, score a goal so that they can relax for a bit on their end. So it was definitely a strong point for us to score that first goal. It helps our momentum for sure.
Katie, Coach, what did you guys have to identify when you were facing your ball movement, just the way you zip the ball around against their initial defense? What was important today, just in terms of maybe even probably moving the ball faster than you have maybe in past games today? Just the way you guys got great looks early, maybe didn't finish all of them, but just you guys were able to handle the defense they threw at you, I think, for the most part today, no matter what it was.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of good practice with the Salisbury game, and then all week we studied their backer and even got a look at their rover, which they threw in for maybe 5 minutes in the second half. But keeping the ball moving fast and keeping players moving off ball was, we know what was going to break the defense, and we were able to execute that today. So that's how. Sorry.
Coach, it seemed like your team came out with an extra level of intensity out of the locker room, so I was curious what you said to them, and then they cleaned up the turnovers as well and that, so kind of what was your message to your team?
Well, you know, I just referenced, and really they inspire one another. It's the energy that they bring and the love that they have for each other and their desire to perform not only to their best version of themselves, but wanting to play their best for their teammates. But the reality is we came down to the basics that, you know, we figured it was about our 85th time on the field together in some capacity, whether it was a game or a practice, or definitely practices. We've had about 85 practices. I'm methodical about counting. We might miss a few here and there. But, and that they've been preparing for this moment since day one of practice. And while it was not in the front of their mind, it was always in the back of their mind. And today was their moment to put it in the front. And they certainly did, and that gets you excited. And they play with excitement, but they also play with composed demeanor. And that's a difficult balance. You can't always achieve it, but today they definitely had that energy and the composure and game savvy that it's going to take, and it's going to take tomorrow as well.
Speaking of tomorrow, Caroline, were you at the 2011 TCNJ in the Final Four, I guess, cheering on, of course, for Allie? A, were you there? And B, how will your families handle it tomorrow?
Yes, of course I was there. Went to almost every single one of her games. And that was a great moment, and ever since that moment, well, not necessarily that moment, but her career, I've definitely had that in the back of my mind that I want to be in the Final Four. I want to be in that championship game. My sister never got that shot, but today it's tomorrow's Jager name is going to be there for sure on both sides of the field. But my family, they like to back me, so Gettysburg is where they're going to be rooting, but we always are cheering on for one another.
Will Allie be there tomorrow?
Yep, she will be.
She will be wearing what tomorrow?
Gettysburg.
Darn straight.
No doubt.
Sure.
No doubt. No doubt.
And then Shannon, so tell me first, so Miranda Crone being 2 years younger than you, but didn't really move, she was probably not even on the varsity, I'm guessing, as a sophomore,
Yeah.
but I'm sure you know her. Tell me about just, maybe she lives around the corner from you.
I mean, I know Miranda really well. We played basketball together. We played lacrosse together. She didn't start playing goalie until she was a junior in high school, and she came to me. She was my little at the time. We had, I don't know if you guys know what that means, but we just families with lacrosse and whatnot. And she came to me and she goes, Shannon, Mr. Knobloch wants to know if I want to be a goalie, and he thinks I'd be good. And she's very athletic. She always has been. And I looked at her. I go, Rhonda, you're about to be a junior. Are you crazy? Like, it takes a year or 2 years to get the fundamentals down. I didn't call her crazy, but I was just kind of like, I don't know if that's the best idea. She proved me wrong. She proved me wrong because while she didn't really have, in high school, in college, she got the fundamentals down at the end of her high school career and has been thriving. So, I'm really looking forward to this game, and it's exciting and unique that I'm playing another Morristown goalie, and I'm ready to bring it for sure.
She would have, let's say, I guess, would she have practiced together with you if she's on the JV as a sophomore then, or whatever? I guess
Yeah.
She was a defender then, so actually you probably never saw her practice as a goalie, I suppose.
No, I did. So it was actually around the tournament time, the playoffs time, that she started getting in net.
Like you were a senior.
I was a senior, and she was very athletic. She didn't have the fundamentals down, but I kind of did think, I was like, maybe you should have stepped in goal a few years ago. But I'm really not surprised that she's good, because she was just always so athletic and good in basketball and a good player. But I think my team's ready to face them, and I'm really excited because TCNJ is always a good game with us. So.
And Katie, one of the things I'm most excited about tomorrow is seeing your team's offense versus their defense. I know you haven't been looking past this game, so you probably haven't given it a ton of thought, but I guess what are your initial thoughts about squaring up with your offensive unit against their defense?
Well, we've already seen their defense, so we already know what we're getting, and we know they play a backer, and we've had that for the past 2 games. So we've practiced it for a week and a half now, and I'm very confident in our attack to get the job done. We know what to do, and just again have to execute it. Just one more lacrosse game.
Okay, you practice daily against your defense, probably the first string generally. What do you think makes this defense? What are some of besides the stats? What do you think makes your defense just truly outstanding? Where they're almost #1 in goals against as well.
Yeah, well, we do play a different defense. Well, we play a bunch of different defenses, but I think our man-to-man is just so strong. They're like a brick wall out there. Our 1v, no one can really get by one defender. You need to really work the ball and find the holes in our defense, which is really challenging for other teams. So.
Caroline, you have a cousin who plays for TCNJ?
Yes.
Tell me, are you guys close at all?
We are very close. Rivals all the way through. She went to my rival high school, so we'd be matching up in those games too, and it continued into college. But always rooting for one another. I saw her at the banquet last night, and just each one of us gave a little pump-up talk how much we wanted to play each other in the final. So we better win today on Saturday. So.
And how are you all cousins? Are you first cousins, like
first cousins?
Or siblings? Or?
Yeah, my dad and her father are brothers. Very close growing up. Mm-hmm.
Corey?
That sounded great. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's a sweaty chair.
We're joined by Trinity College. They just participated in the second semifinal of the 2017 NCAA Division III Women's Lacrosse Championship Tournament. We have with us Allie Barrett and head coach Katie Dissinger. Coach, talk about today's game, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, fairly devastating to lose in the semifinals. But you know what we just said to the team was how incredible of a season and opportunity is to be here, but B, that today was just one of those games where you walked away and you said we did everything we could, and we had opportunities. It wasn't that we didn't. We took shots. It wasn't that they weren't there. And you know, our defense made some great plays, and we had draw controls. You know, you just look at all those kind of 50-50s and you say, okay, you kind of did all those little things well, and then it was just not the day that everything connected.
Open up the questions. Go ahead, Brown.
Yeah. On that topic, kind of how about the fine balance of shot selection of trying to beat a good goalie, and maybe I would say probably your 12 saves she made in the first half, maybe 11 were on low shots, but maybe you saw something in film prior to that of the balance of trying to change it up versus maybe what you felt or your scouting report was.
Yeah, I think that she definitely did a good job. She had a couple kids' numbers where, you know, she dropped pretty early. I definitely give her credit for that. We talked about the fact that she comes out and she is a big body and kind of really getting in and dunking it around her. But to Gettysburg's testament, they had us releasing shots a bit earlier than we wanted to, and trying to make those adjustments. So we really talked about hitting some more feeds and making her move a bit more into that space. And then if you are driving, getting in on her and getting it around her. And I think some of those were executed, and some, you know, I think we were baited into some of those early shots.
And Allie, despite having that struggle with her in the first half, like you guys, only down I think by one. What were you seeing in that first half that you guys were doing well, and then that you were looking to improve in the second half?
Well, I think we had possession for quite a amount of the time in the first half. I think that what we just struggled with, like Dis was saying, was just finishing. We had the opportunities, we had the ball movement, just our shots were either going right to her stick or she was dropping low. We kept hitting it in the 5-hole, but we just had to get it in a little bit earlier and not take our shots so quickly. But.
And Abby, you guys were able to disrupt a lot of their, let's say, first half offense. Maybe they get 2 quick ones, but then after that, it was almost lights out defensively. What adjustment perhaps would they make against the variety of defenses and the pressure defense you guys had that seemed to kind of click for them for a 5-minute period, and that seemed to be the difference just that period there?
Yeah. So our defense is the high pressure, and I think that it did kind of catch them off guard in the beginning. We were doing a really good job almost making them scared to have the ball. We came out quickly on them. However, as I'm sure they also know, it's a really tiring defense to play for a long time, especially when you have those really big slides you have to make. And I think that they knew that, and they spread out really wide on attack so that we had to run more on defense and make those quicker and longer backside slides. So I think they adjusted off of that. And then in return, we tried to adjust and kind of hold for a second, keep compact until they brought their attack further in. But they just played it well.
And Katie, now that you saw their defense in person, what makes their defense really good? Where you have some prolific players that just weren't able to either get the room or comfort that they maybe usually have.
Yeah, they had some great matchups today. I also, I think to their testament, really played us kind of that like over hedge, but then kind of come back rather than committing to a lot of doubles, and knew that we would drive, but we also would feed, so kind of baited us into like that just moment of hesitation. And that's where, the moments where we were successful were the ones where it was, almost not thinking. The ball was just moving, you were getting through, you kind of were like just kind of going hard with your motion versus trying to be too calculated about it. And that's where I think they took advantage of that and were able to kind of clog that middle and again forced us some low angle shots earlier on.
Coach, despite the fact that she was being peppered with shots, that Zoe Wilkerson came up with some big stops and was just huge at times to keep you guys in the contest. Can you talk about her play?
Yeah, she is, I've said this before, I think on the phone call, like our team calls her Stonewall. She is just like, the defensive huddle is like chatting, doing all this stuff. And she's like, my theory is if I'm not rattled, they shouldn't be rattled. And that's just always her mindset when she walks into a defensive huddle. And she is so solid, and I think it was a great bounce back for her. I mean, she had a great game against York. She definitely struggled a little bit during F&M, but she just played in the big moment, and we definitely needed that from her, and she kept us in the game for a long time before we did, I think, get a bit tired, and just some of those slips were able to get in. And then they had longer possessions at the end too. I mean, Zoe was standing there and she was like, it just was longer possessions for us to be in that defensive set forward, but it's a double-edged sword. You need the ball back, yet it's a little bit of a longer set.
And lastly, Coach, so to beat their defense or at least get the better, what do you have to do what does any team have to do at a really high level against the Gettysburg defense?
I think get in for sure, look for feeds, move her, and like your looks, like kind of really work that ball and that ball movement until their defenders do as much as they hedge and as much as they kind of or send those doubles, and they switch it up game to game, I think, based on their personnel. Carol's a great coach, but that you really do have to wear them into making that mistake a little bit more, and then catching them off guard, like that drive at the end, kind of where like nobody has marked up yet in those unsettled situations.
Al, you played 3 years with the senior class. They won 15 games in the NCAA tournament. I was wondering if you could say something about them.
I have been so lucky to play with these seniors. They, especially with Carly being a midfielder with me, you just really grow to play with them. And not only, we were talking about it after the game, and you play lacrosse because you love the game, but you also play because you love the people you get to play with, and they have just completely made the difference in terms of my experience here at Trinity. We've won games together, we've obviously lost games together, but how they handle those losses and wins is what makes them amazing players. And I think that us juniors, us sophomores, incoming freshmen, we all were really lucky to get the chance to play with them.
Anything to add about
Yeah, they stepped into, I think, a huge role this year, being 9 of them, and they all have very different personalities. They're like the most diverse group of people I've really ever known, but that also meant in a squad of 30 that they were able to reach every single person, and I think they did a really good job of every person on our team had an outlet because they were really capable of connecting with 1 or 2 or 3 of them. We worked a lot as we met a lot of seniors in the beginning of the year, and they totally bought into the idea of just getting to know everybody and getting everybody on the same page. And it's easy your senior year to be like, I'm a senior, you know, this is my last season, it's kind of about me. And I think they made it all about the first years, and they made it all about the sophomores and what type of legacy they wanted to leave, and paving the road as seniors before them had done. Yeah.
Well, Allie and Coach, thank you very much. Congratulations on a fine season.
Thank you. Thanks,